Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and I am back again for another Rage Time video. Though this one is slightly different because I'm not entirely sure who I'm raging at the most. But before we dig into it, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share the video with your friends, notification bell, all that nonsense. Apparently I need to say this stuff because really I should rage at YouTube. Really I should rage at YouTube because it is possible for you to subscribe to my channel and not actually get notified when I have videos out. Sure, you subscribe, you love my stuff, you enjoy it, but YouTube think, they probably don't want to know that he has a new video out. So yes, anything that you can do to help spread the videos is a big help, very much appreciated. Anyway, the subject of today, Mr. Jered Threatin. The man, the myth, the legend. Who knows who this man really, truly is in his core? Is he a scumbag con merchant? Or is he some sort of troll puppet master that's manipulating the media and fans of music and venues? There really is no way to know, and it's a genuinely fascinating story. So, Jered Threatin, an LA-based musician that booked himself a European tour. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I have many friends living in that sort of part of the world, LA, that I have seen in Europe because they come over and they play music. It's not unheard of. But midway through Jered's UK tour, word started getting around from support bands and promoters, and venues, that nobody was turning up to these gigs. And I mean nobody was turning up to these gigs. Not 3 or 4 people, nobody. Jered Threatin was not selling tickets. So how is this possible? Well, it seems that he's employed like farms, click farms, to get subscribers on YouTube and follows on Facebook, and to create this illusion that he's a big deal so he could then book venues. We'll come back to that. Very, very, very interesting. He managed to hire 2 musicians to go on tour with him. He managed to convince these musicians that he was a big deal in Europe, that he had a fan base over there, and he had some hits in Germany and the like. And then at the last minute, when they finally asked him about money for the tour, he told them that they would be paid $300 for a full tour. And it turned out that that $300 was for their food. And at no point did these musicians go, there might be something up here. You see, the warning signs were always there. If you looked into this man, he was a fake from day one. You could see where all of his likes were coming from. You could see when you looked at the attendance for gigs on Facebook, the events. You could see that everybody seemed to be in Brazil. This is odd. Why is it that venues didn't see this? Why is it that band members didn't see this? Why is it that the fans didn't exist? Why is it that people didn't see this? Why is it that everybody seems to have been conned by this? Now, when the news was first shared with me a week ago, and I was dying to talk about it then, my gut instinct was to turn around and say, this guy is a genius. This guy's an absolute genius. Because before I read the story, just the title alone, I thought it was funny. I thought it was the same as Wolfpack, apparently I can't say that, releasing an album of silent music on Spotify. When I read that story, or the title for it alone, it was enough for me to laugh and go, that's clever, I see what you've done there. Nobody looks at that and says, well, hang on a minute, aren't you gaming the system here? Aren't you being a bit scummy and sort of taking money from Spotify and from making people spend money on electricity and stuff just so you can get a bit, like, it's insane when you really think about it, but it's funny. It is funny and it's clever. So when I read this headline, my first thought was, wow, that's a really kind of cynical, satirical piece of performance art. You're demonstrating to people just how flimsy and fake the music industry can be. This man managed to book a European tour with no fans, and you let him do it. Why are you surprised by this? How can you play the victim? Oh no, we lost money on the night because we opened the bar and nobody came to the show. So? Do a bit more research. I have played gigs to literally nobody. I remember playing one gig in particular where we turned up, were we on headline? Yeah, headlining. And the support bands bought nobody. The venue in-house promoter bought nobody. And they still wanted to charge each one of our fans that we were going to be bringing down £5 to get in. And we weren't being paid. So we were very quick to go on social media and put the word out. Guys, no matter what happens, do not come to this show tonight. if you come to this show tonight, you will be wasting your money. Don't do it. We will have a rehearsal in a week and you can all come to rehearsal. If you just want to see us play and hang out, that's fine, we'll do that. And we played a show to an empty room and we smiled at the promoter the whole time, because when you really look at the ins and outs of how low-level live performance works, it can turn you into a horrible cynic of the music industry. And my gut told me that that's exactly what Jered Threatin had done. He was drawing attention to that. But now we have to talk about the subject of intent, because I can't say that that is what Jered Threatin did. There's every possibility that his goal all along was book it and they will come. His goal all along was to create this illusion of being popular in America so he could come over to Europe and do a tour. And people in Europe would go, wow, this guy's quite a big deal in America. We should go and see him. And then when he went back to America, he'd have the illusion of being popular in Europe, which would kickstart a career in America. There really is no way to know whether or not that was his plan. If that was his plan, it backfired spectacularly. If that was his plan, yeah, sure, I'm going to hold my hands up and say this guy's a scumbag. But I don't know if that was his plan. Nobody's that stupid. He booked these venues in advance with money. He paid, I think, £780 in order to secure the venue hire of the Camden Underworld. That's money that he is not getting back. And he did it anyway. You know, I literally know people in bands that for the last 5 years or so, maybe even longer, everyone I know in the music industry that knows them kind of looks at them and is like, yeah, you look successful to the outside world, but your parents are bankrolling all of this. They pay for everything. They pay for your buy-ons on support tours, and they pay for a tour bus, and like just to create this illusion of success for you. And hopefully, if you can have this illusion of success, maybe Metal Hammer will be interested in you. Maybe Kerrang will be interested in you. Maybe someone else above you can come along and go, yeah, we can probably make some money off of this. It's insane that this is the music industry today, but low-level performance very much is that. So there, like I say, there's every possibility that this is what Jered has done. And if you follow him on Twitter, if you follow the Jered Threatin fan club on Twitter, you will have seen some hilarious comments where he's so obviously trying to rile people up. There's a picture of a cameraman taking a photo of the band during their actual performance, right? And the fan club have responded when claims that, you know, there's nobody at this gig by saying, this was a photo of our sound check. The gig was a sellout. I don't believe for a second that someone posts something like that, actually thinking that he can control the narrative to the point where you're going to believe that this was Soundcheck and that the show was sold out. It's very easy to check whether or not a show was sold out. And more importantly, people don't do Soundcheck in their full fucking stage attire with smoke on. And more importantly, they also don't have photographers taking pictures of them during damn Soundcheck. Obviously it wasn't Soundcheck. Now normally if this was a Rage Time video where I was ripping into someone, I'd be shouting at Jered Threatin. But he knows this, and for some reason, you people can't seem to get the fact that he knew this all along. He absolutely knew this. He has made himself more famous than anybody else that I can think of in rock music right now. You are so much more interested in what he is doing than you are about Machine Head doing their farewell tour. He's done this while Slayer are currently in Europe doing their farewell tour. And I've seen more people talking about this than talking about Slayer, one of the most important thrash bands in the history of the genre. And people are talking about Jered Threatin. He posted on his Twitter yesterday, "What is fake news? I turned an empty room into an international headline. If you're reading this, you were part of the illusion." Ah, Jered. Back to intent, right? Here's what it all comes down to, and I don't think we're ever going to know the answer to this. Either Jered Threatin always intended to be a troll. He was always intending to entertain people. I mean, literally on his fan club yesterday, he posted up the Monopoly man with a troll face and the quote, "Trolling is an art and I am Picasso." That is so on the nose that I have to look at that and ask myself, is the Jered Threatin fan club on Twitter, is it even an official page, or is this someone trolling based on the situation, because that is so on the nose that I just can't buy it. It's that ridiculous. So the question again, was his intention this all along? There's no way for us to know. I don't think Jered's ever going to talk to anyone about this. I really genuinely don't think he's embarrassed by this situation. But there's the question. Was this his intention all along? Or is he making the best of a bad situation? Is he now taking this thing that has happened and trying to spin it as though I was trying to ridicule the music industry this whole time? I don't think any of that matters. I think no matter what happens with Jered Threatin, he's going to have a successful career for himself, even if it's not in the music industry. It wouldn't surprise me if this entire thing was absolutely a troll from the get-go, and Jered actually has a full-time job in marketing. Because what he's demonstrated here is that if you need somebody to bring attention to your brand, hire this guy. He knows what he's doing. The sad thing is you have to look at everybody else that got involved. And like I say, band members that travelled from Las Vegas to LA over and over and over for rehearsals and then didn't ask how much they were being paid for the tour until they left for the tour. Guys, you've let your ego get the better of you. You've let hope get the better of you. We've all had to learn this lesson. We've all had to learn this idea that there are people out there that will make promises that they can't keep. And I've done it. I have got my hopes up. You know, my big opportunities come. But that's how you get scammed. That's how you get conned. And more importantly, when the guy says to you, oh, the tour's going to pay $300 to tour Europe, where I've told you I've had hits and I'm very popular and the shows are selling out, you should either be looking at that and saying, well, something fishy is going on here, or, hang on a minute, $300, fuck that. That is not a realistic fee to be paid for weeks' worth of work. It's just insane. But the guys in the band couldn't work this out for themselves because they were either too stupid, and I don't believe that's the case, or, more importantly, they just didn't want to see the truth. And it's the same with venues. It's the same with support bands. Jered Threatin can post out tweets ridiculing the support bands for saying, what do you mean the venue was empty? You played the gig. Why were your fans not there? Why did you not bring your friends and family down to the gig? And he's absolutely right. None of these gigs should have been empty. But they were. Because there are so many bands constantly out there playing and bringing nobody to gigs. Because it's hard when there are so many bands. You can't just keep saying to all of your friends, please come watch us play, please come watch us play, and your mum and your girlfriend and all of that stuff. It's not self-sustaining. Really, the punchline to this, to me, seems to be the venues. They seem to have lost out more than anyone, aside from Jered Threatin, who has spent a lot of money and maybe lost his reputation on it. Yeah, genuinely very fascinating story. And I would love to extend the offer to Jered. Like, this isn't a gotcha video. Like, Glenn Fricker did a video on this and he ridiculed you. And I totally understand where Glenn was coming from and I enjoyed his video, but I'm not looking for a gotcha moment. If you ever want to talk to somebody about what's happened here, I would love to talk to you and get the inside on you know, just what you were attempting to do with this, because it's genuinely interesting to me. And maybe I'm completely wrong. You know, like I say, my gut tells me that either the guy's completely deluded and he hoped this was going to go well, or he's got a semblance of brain function and he knew that this was going to be a car crash from the get-go, but he just did it anyway. And someone like that, to me, is very interesting. Again, right now, more people are talking about Jered Threatin than they are about Slayer. And I really do think that says a lot about mainstream media. I think it says a lot about consumers, what we're interested in listening to and hearing about. I think it says a lot about the music industry as a whole, as a wider thing. So, yeah. What do you guys think? I just want to say a huge thank you to these people over here. These are some of my supporters over on patreon.com. I really do appreciate your support. You keep these videos coming. Jered, maybe you should set yourself up a Patreon, pal. It's more lucrative than playing shows where nobody is there. But right now, you are probably more famous than I could ever imagine being. And that's really what this is about, right? Ego. the band members, the venue. It's all success and creating this illusion of being successful. This actually is my full-time job. I make videos and I entertain people. I consider myself an entertainer, an educator, a writer. You know, I don't have a day job. I do the music thing, and that's cool. But you couldn't do that without ego. I have to create this sense of being big and important, so people will watch the things you're doing, and it's a lot of fun, but it can really be draining as well. So yeah, huge thank you to you people over here that allow me to do that, so I don't have to kind of fight that fake thing and just create this illusion of being someone who I'm not. Yeah. If you would like to check me out on Patreon, you can do so by clicking this button up here. You can subscribe by clicking this button down here, and you will see 2 more of my videos here and here. Yeah. As I say, guys, hit me up in that comment section below. Would love to know what your thoughts are on this whole Jered Threatin situation. And I'm more than willing to be wrong on this. I would love to be wrong on this. And it would be more interesting if he was an absolute psychopath that was just hoping to be successful. Anyway, peace out. I will see you for another video soon. Laters.